Megyn Kelly is now admitting Donald Trump is suffering cognitive decline. She was on Glenn Beck's program over the weekend. I know, I didn't know Glenn Beck still had a program either, but she was on it. And she now admits this is what's going on. This is in the context, of course, of arguing that Joe Biden is worse. But still, the fact that Megyn Kelly is now openly admitting this, that gets us to the next step in finding acceptance for what is obviously going on. Take a listen to this.
Do you think that Donald Trump has faded from where he was in 2020?
Yeah, I do.
Huh.
I mean, I take him over Joe Biden any day of the week.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to, fill out this term, never mind a second. But there's no question Trump has lost a step, or multiple steps. He is confusing Joe Biden for Obama. I know he's now saying he intentionally did that. Go back and look at the clips.
Right.
It wasn't intentional. It was look, any of us could have a slip of the tongue, but it's happening to him repeatedly. The reference about how somebody's going to get us into World War II, confusing countries, confusing cities where he is. And it's happening more and more. With all due respect to Trump, this is what happens when you're 77 years old.
Yeah.
Trump seems inhuman, but he's not inhuman. He's a human. He's a man. DeSantis' line about father time spares no one was a good one. So, look, if it's between Trump and Biden, I don't think there's any question who's more fit and who's capable. But are we really going to pretend that Donald Trump is just as vibrant and mentally sharp as he was in 2016? Okay.
This is a big change. Okay. Now, I get it. Megyn Kelly's saying, oh, well, Joe Biden's even worse. Fine. We can have that debate. That's a fine debate to have. The fact that she now openly admits it's not even defensible at this point that Trump is as sharp as he once was, and that she doesn't even try to deny that reality. This is a sign that she is going in the direction of accepting what it is that so many of us have been seeing for years at this point in time. At one point, they were all denying it. They now increasingly acknowledge it, but say, well, Joe Biden is actually worse. Well, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But if you believe that they both are suffering in some way, and you believe that most of the work will be done by the people around them, my choice is the people around Biden rather than the people that Trump will have around him. Now, by the way, there's a new report on who is Trump planning to have in his second cabinet if indeed he becomes president again. It's a house of horrors. I already know I'm not going to have time to get to it on today's show, but we plan to get to it on tomorrow's program. I will tell you the names that Trump is thinking of for his second cabinet. And so even if you want to say, hey, you know what? They're both suffering from some level of dementia. Well, the economy is solid. Biden has reasonable people around him, and Trump will put unrestrained and unqualified extremist ideologue loyalists around him. Even if they're both a little bit slowed down, that's even more reason to vote for Joe Biden. But this is not a small thing. This is a big deal. And the fact that she's acknowledging it in this way and saying there's not even a way to deny it. There's no way to deny it at this point. You see what's going on. And we'll look at some of those gaffes a little bit later. At this point, that is a major change in the way that prominent, right-wing journalists and whatever Megyn Kelly's personal beliefs are. She says, I have some left-wing beliefs. I have some right-wing beliefs. The role that she's playing is of a right-wing journalist. The fact that she's now openly saying this and saying it's completely indefensible to make a different argument, that is a major, major change. When the holidays come around and you can't always celebrate in person with family or friends, it's typical to miss them. And that's why I love our sponsor, Aura Digital Frames. It's a new, unique, more personal way to keep in touch, especially around the holidays. I have gifted each of my parents an Aura frame with pictures of the baby preloaded. So I can add pictures, they can add pictures. There's no USB. It's just infinite cloud photo storage. Everything happens seamlessly over Wi-Fi. Really easy. Give your loved one the best gift ever this year. See why Aura was named the #1 digital frame by the New York Times, Wired, and others. And you'll get $30 off their best-selling frames when you go to auraframes.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman. The frames sell out quickly. Get yours before they are gone. The link is down below.